excited to be here today on my very first episode of Cutting Through It. My name is Sherry Brody and I am your host. And this is my brainchild. I get so frustrated and just sad in my heart when I see posts from hairstylists who are struggling to build a business working behind the chair. They want to quit or they want to find another job. They just feel lost. And I'm somebody who has been in this industry for over 4 decades. I have rebuilt my business numerous times, and I have worked through many economic setbacks in our government, our world. I've through so many things. So I know what it feels like to be that person, but I also know what it feels like, and I know how to get in the right mindset, and I know the strategies that you need to get out of that mindset and to create success behind the chair. And that is why I created Cutting Through It. Before we get started today, I just want to ask you a question. Have you ever had a client that you felt like, oh my gosh, I nailed it. I did a great job on her hair. I know she's going to love it and she's going to be back. But you never hear from her again? I mean, no text, there's no phone call, there's just no explanation. And maybe this is happening numerous times with you and you're left wondering like, what did I do wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Well, in today's episode, I want to share a real story that just recently happened to me that just really opened my eyes to a client's version, like from their point of view of why they will ghost you as a client. And I just want to do a spoiler alert with you right now. It's probably not what you think. And I'm hoping that when I share this story and I share with you some strategies that you can do to keep your clients from ghosting, I just really hope that it really helps you become more successful behind the chair and become more confident as a hairstylist. So also before we dive in, if you don't know me at all, I encourage you to visit my website, onpointhairbysherry.com, and subscribe to my pro tips. Every week I send out pro tips that really help and encourage you behind the chair. So this client that came in last week, she was a regular client of mine for many years. And a few years back, I semi-retired from behind the chair. And I cut my work days back to just 2 days a week working behind the chair. And she was somebody I truly enjoyed as a person, but she called me and let me know, I can't get in on those days. And I also had been, priced in a place that was really difficult for her to pay. So at that time in her life, she needed to find another hairstylist. And I truly understood. Well, I noticed about 3 months ago, she was on my wait list and we ended up booking her and she waited the 3 months. And when I greeted her, I was super excited to see her. But I looked at her, you guys, and it was obvious that she really needed a great haircut. She needed a great style. And, after we talked and, filled each other in on life and stuff, I asked her what brought her back to my chair. And she said, Sherry, I like my hairstylist. She says, but every time I ask her for a new look or something new, she just kind of halfway listens to me and just kind of gives me this. She goes, I really want what you gave me. She says, I want layers. I want movement. I just really want a haircut that's going to last me a long time. And that's my first thing that I want to share with you is that when you're thinking to yourself, maybe, oh gosh, it's probably left over from COVID, which I hear a lot. At first, my first thought is, oh, can't be COVID. COVID, that's baloney. That's whatever. But then I started thinking about it. It's not because people aren't getting their hair done since COVID. It's because people think twice about where they're spending their money. This first part of this story I'm sharing with you, this client is somebody that is just like the clients that are sitting in your chair. They're thinking twice about where they're spending their money. They want value. They want quality. In that first part of that conversation that I shared with you, I'm hoping that what you heard was this client, she didn't feel like her stylist really cared enough to give her what she wanted. I mean, as a tenured stylist and also an educator, and I've apprenticed many hairstylists, my first thought went to, I'm probably pretty 99% sure that the stylist, it wasn't that she didn't care. It was that that stylist really doesn't like to cut hair and really doesn't know how to give that client what she wants. After I was doing her hair for a little while, at the very end of her service, well, actually during her service, I also was speaking to her like I do with a lot of my clients. Well, every client, I always educate them. I always talk to them about their hair. Like I could tell right away just from looking at it and feeling her hair that she had a lot of buildup on there. I could tell she's probably not using a very high end product, and there was buildup on there that was making it dull. And I could tell by the color that was being used on her that she's not getting a good 100% coverage as well, which we all know that buildup can do that. So, I shared with her about clarifying shampoo, of course, and explained how to use it and talked about the products, yada, yada, yada. Well, at the end of the conversation, I checked her out, and just mind you, I charge now double what she paid me. And she also gave me a gratuity that was ridiculous. Like I didn't expect it. So I share that with you because remember my first comment was that those years ago before COVID, when she had left because of the schedule changes and where her life was financially, just from talking to her, her life is even more busy now. And she still has her same financial stresses that she had, but she didn't think twice about paying for the service with me. In fact, she was beaming when we were done because she was just yearning for a quality service, yearning to look in the mirror and feel good and be able to style her hair the way she wants. But she looked at me and said, "Hey, I'd like to get that shampoo you were talking about, because I know, Sherry, that when you tell me something, that it's the truth, and that I know that you're telling me something that's going to help me." So that's another thing, was that she had complete and total confidence in me. And she had the complete and total confidence in me because I educated her. I shared with her. I've given her quality work before that lasts. And she knows the difference now. So when I told her, she said, "Sherry, I want to book with you a couple times a year. I know that's kind of crazy, but she still has her financial struggles, and that's okay." I told her that's totally fine. And she says, I don't know what to tell my hairstylist when I go back to her about my haircut. She goes, "I guess I'll just tell her, I don't know, that I want a gift card or something." And I looked at her and I said, "You're not good at lying. Why are you lying to her? Why can't you just tell her the truth that she knows you had a hairstylist that you loved before seeing her, and just tell her, I had an opportunity to go see her. I really wanted a great haircut, and she gives a great haircut. And so I went to her. So I'm going to go to her a few times a year." I mean, you need to be honest with your hairstylist. And what she said, you know what she said? And this is what really opened my eyes. She says, "I don't want to hurt her feelings." Guys, we are a hairstylist. This is our profession. These clients that sit in our chair, they are not our friends. They are paying clients, and they're coming to you to help them feel beautiful and feel good about themselves. And they should not be put in a place where they're afraid to hurt their hairstylist's feelings. So I ended up telling her, just tell her. If it hurts her feelings, then I don't know what to say. I mean, she's a business person. It shouldn't hurt her feelings. And I said, she's not going to give you a bad job. Anyhow, I wanted to share that because it really opened my eyes that we as hairstylists, we need to remember that the clients that sit in our chair are not our friends. We need to, each and every client that sits in our chair, we need to really appreciate that they're sitting in our chair and give them a memorable experience. This client came back to me because she remembered how I made her feel. She remembered the quality work I gave her. She just remembered that Sherry knows her stuff. It was a good, memorable experience. And that is why she came back, and that is why she was happy to spend her money with me. Now, there's other stories that I also have, I heard last week while I was working, that I wanted to share in this episode too, which, by the way, you'll find that as I get to talking, sometimes I digress and I end up talking about other things. But when I feel like it's going to pertain to helping you, I'm going to share it. I work in a salon that's kind of close knit with other stylists. And this gal that was working behind me had a client in her chair, and I just eavesdropped a bit on her conversation. That's kind of hard not to in the salon, but sometimes there's certain conversations that really, I just am like, oh, I'm going to listen on this. This client was it was a brand new client. And during the consultation, the stylist was saying, well, what made you leave your hairstylist? And she said, when I went in, I asked for color and we talked about it. She gave me a color. I didn't really love the haircut, but I really liked the color. But at the end of the service, it ended up being $300. And I was stunned because that wasn't what we talked about in the beginning. She said, I was too embarrassed to ask her about it, so I paid it, but I didn't want to go back. She says, I couldn't afford that, and I was just shocked. So this brings me to another point, is that, are you being upfront with your clients about the service that they're wanting? Are you during your consultation thoroughly explaining to them what is going to be needed to be able to achieve it, what the maintenance of it's going to be, and what the cost is going to be? Because clients are not going to tell you to your face. They're too intimidated. They don't like to be, they don't like confrontation. And if you really think about it, neither do you. Neither do you. You don't like confrontation either. So if a client at the end of the service is shocked by the price, they're not going to come back. Now, the other thing that she said this was a really young stylist. And it took her a long time to do my hair. And honestly, I couldn't relate to her. She talked a lot about her personal life and her boyfriend and, was joking around with the other stylists. And she said, I just didn't even feel important. And so that's why I'm in your chair, because I read your profile and I felt like, I could relate to you and it'd be a good fit. You had good reviews, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I share that story with you because that's the other thing. I started out in this industry. I graduated at 17. I'll tell you that, from high school. I looked like I was 12. So I had a really difficult time gaining client trust in me. So I know what it's like to be a young hairstylist. But I share you that because I understand that. But I'm sharing the story with you because my goal with you is that I really want you to think twice about what kind of experience am I giving my client? So the 3 reasons I want to kind of go back through what I shared with you and just kind of give you an overview of the 3 reasons that the main reasons that a client will ghost you and what to do about it. So the first one is, the clients, they fear confrontation. They're afraid to tell you. They would rather ghost you than hurt their feelings. So the thing I'm going to encourage you with today is to just create just a totally open conversation with them, letting them know that, hey, if you're not happy with this, or does this make sense to you? Ask open-ended questions and really listen for what they're saying to you. But there's something that if you're nervous about, there's a couple of things that I want to encourage you is that at the end of your service with them, make sure that you give them a mirror, you show them, and make sure you look them in the eye and say, are you liking this? Is this, how do you feel about your service today? Like, ask them. And then I'm going to encourage you so that you can learn a lot is 2 days later after you've given them a service, I'm going to encourage you to call them. Guys, I know it's so scary. It's so scary because you're thinking to yourself, what if they don't like it? What if they give me bad feedback? Well, there are going to be clients that are going to give you bad feedback, but this is a learning for you. Don't you want to learn and get better and be successful? And the only way you're going to learn is by asking for that feedback. And then another way also is to send a written questionnaire in the email to them and asking, for them, because some clients may not be comfortable telling you even over the phone. So creating a little checklist and having them give you a review of your service so that they can help you be better behind the chair. Clients want to help you. People want to help you. The other thing is that clients crave leadership. Like they come to you and they want to trust you and they want to know that you know what's going to be best for their hair. They want a stylist that's confident. They want a stylist that's going to make clear recommendations to them. And they also want a stylist that's going to educate them on how to take care of their hair and what products to use. And guys, I've done this a million times myself. Don't assume they can't afford it. And if you're not selling products, that's just another podcast, but you should always be educating your clients on the products that they should be using on their hair and how to use it. They want to know. And really to create confidence and to make sure that you're leading them in the right direction, that's all goes with the consultation. And that's another podcast that we're going to do as well, is I want to take you through a consultation process so that you feel confident. That consultation isn't just for them, it's for you, so that you're able to confidently recommend and do the service that your clients are really wanting that's sitting in your chair. Clients want transparency and consistency. And what that means, don't hide behind the front desk. Don't surprise them with a pricing at checkout. That's the quickest way for you to lose a client, let me tell you. Always talk to them about the service and the cost upfront during the consultation so there's no misunderstanding and that they completely know what it's going to cost. And if there's if you're doing a corrective color or something that you're not quite sure is going to work, let them know, this is what I'm estimating. If I see that we're going to have to charge more, this is how much it's going to be per half hour. And make sure that they know up front, because they may decide not to do the corrective service. Guys, this builds trust, and trust fills your chair faster than any Instagram post. I promise you, you got to do these things. Trust me, it works. I know, I've done it, I've taught it. So here's my challenge for you this week. Take a really good look at what kind of client experience you're giving your clients. Truly leading your clients? Are you being transparent about your pricing? Are you confident with your recommendations for them? And are you clear on your communication? And the other thing I'm going to challenge you to do is take a look back at your books. If there's a client that you haven't seen in a while, go back, look 6 weeks, look 12 weeks, start finding those clients that haven't been in. And I'm going to encourage you that call them. It's scary, I know, but don't you want to learn about what you're doing wrong so that you can make it better? All right, guys, I know this has been a long podcast, so I need to quit. So I just want you to remember that your clients totally looking for perfection. They want connection. They want a stylist who listens, who educates, and leads. And you'll never have to worry. If you do these things, you'll never have to worry about a client ghosting you again. So, hey, if this episode resonated with you, hey, I would love it if you took a screenshot of it and posted it on your social media and give me a little shout out at Hair by Sherry. Also, hey, if you know a stylist that really could get a lot out of this episode, would you share it for me? And also, I'd love for you to subscribe so that you're aware whenever I post a new episode. And I always love those reviews. Like I said, I'm just now getting started. This is my first one. And I would love to hear your feedback. Hey, thanks for listening to Cutting Through It. This is where we cut through the fear, the confusion, and the burnout to help you as a hairstylist build the confidence you are desiring and get those clients in your chair and build financial freedom.